not a way to start a comedy. With an execution? That's just basic dramatic writing. Don't start with beheadings. Audiences don't want plays about terror and death.
This is a play that is happening in Olympe's head as she's going to, walking up the stairs, getting ready to have her head chopped off. So it is not a piece of realism in my head. We're going to be broad, a little bit broad with this. It's a comedy, and I want there to be a lot of movement. I want there to be a lot of activity happening. Start to think about how your characters move. This is not just going to be a sitting and talking to each other kind of play. It's going to be very active. It's going to be up and around, and lots going on.
Cut that thing, so is it right?
Oh my God, Marianne!
I know, this is crazy to just show up like this, but hello and surprise.
Hello and surprise! Oh my God, for a second I thought you were the National Guard.
Are they coming for the writers already?
Only the important ones.
Greetings, terrestrials! The day is September 9th, 2021. Earth is in retrograde, and these are some strange times indeed. You're watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre. I'm, of course, your host, Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre himself. Every week on this show, we take your calls to hear about your experiences out there in the world with the unknown, with the bizarre, with the unseen, be it extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings, ghosts, specters, anything you can possibly imagine. If you can't explain it, we want to hear about it, so we open up the phone lines every week right here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. It's a public service we offer out because Earth is in retrograde, my friends. And it's only going to get weirder from here, so we've got to keep track of what is happening. Steven, how are you doing tonight? We've got Steven back with us this week.
I'm doing pretty good, Cliff. Yeah.
Steven, glad to have you with us as always. The last couple shows, it was just me on my own. I gotta say, folks, if you watched us last week, I played a little bit more of Destroy All Humans after the program. We played that last week at a silly little game from the late noughties, I believe.
I saw the rerun of that. You were in a spaceship shooting a laser, and I heard that you promised you were going to try to write your name in cursive with that laser.
Yes, if I got good enough at that game. I was initially kind of a little like, it puts me off a bit, and I realize when games force me to go after people and I have to be violent in games. It's an interesting turning point in my life. I also find it a little off-putting when the premise of the comedy in games are just rednecks are dumb. Hillbillies are dumb.
Oh, because right, yeah. So the hillbillies were dumb, and you were killing them.
Like, you know, when this game came out, if I saw it, I would have been like, "Wow, this game is really handing it to them. This is some cutting satire." But now it's just kind of painful to watch, honestly.
All right, we got people chiming in the chat.
Oh, wonderful. My chat is not loading. Let me see if I can get that to reload on my side, because I gotta see what the people are saying. Oh boy, this is probably why they wanted me to update the app when I opened it on my iPad.
You didn't update the app on your iPad.
I made a big
see the chat
programmatically tonight. Apparently.
Barefoot 52, Hunter Duggan, MRC Dolson.
What are the people saying, Steven?
They're all saying stuff.
Give me the chat highlights tonight because I can't technologically make this work. in an entertaining way, I don't think.
The chat
It's trying to
highlights.
sever my connection to the people.
I might figure out how to put the chat on this screen for you during said show. But before I do that,
would be a blessing.
the chat highlights from my buddy Cliff. Well, let me navigate back to where I can read the chat. Howdy, Cliff and Steven. That's from Barefoot52. I missed you, Cliff. That's from Hunter Duggan. Heck yes, times are getting strange, MRC Dolson. Barefoot52. My wife and I were watching a movie last week and realized that Steven looks like Dev Patel. Dev Patel. Patel, yes, I look like that guy. Some sexy classism is a comment by Hunter Duggan. MRC Dolson again. That's a category of comedy that doesn't age well for sure.
Okay, Steven, I've got the chat back.
Oh, okay, you can read it yourself.
I got the chat back to the point here where we've got the pronunciation for Patel in there for you.
Yeah, well, and then we got all caps that you got to update the app on your iPad. So that must have worked because of the all caps.
But we'll do it before the show next week.
Okay.
When it worked, I said, this won't be a problem at all. And then the chat actually needed to be seen. But now it can be seen, and here we are, the midst of strange times indeed, with Cliff McCallister. Really thought we might launch right into a song there, but here it is. All right, everybody. You know what time it is. It's the beginning of the program, and that means it's time for this week's top stories. Crazy things and insane things and wild, unexplainable things are happening out there in the world, and here is just the bits of it. Here we go, right off the top. We've been covering this story very hot the last couple of weeks. We now have a fourth corroborating witness in the O'Hare Mothman story, this most recent sighting that occurred on August 22nd. We now have a fourth witness coming forward with testimony. This is what they said. They said, I was coming up the road toward the exit after leaving work. As I approached the curve by United Cargo, I noticed about 8 security vehicles that had gathered around. As I approached, I saw something fly over the fence and head toward the runways. It looked like a giant man with large wings, but I only saw it for a second or two before it was gone. I actually got out of my car and tried to take a picture before it flew out of range of my camera, but within a second or two of getting out of my car, I had somebody yelling at me to get back in my car and get the heck out of there. I did as I was told and left. And as I was driving out, more security vehicles were showing up. I decided to report this when I saw that other people were coming forward about what had happened that night. Now, as you might recall, in the most recent set of corroborations, these were coming from people who did not want to be named and who had been told by their superiors that this is not something to be talked about publicly. You cannot go to the media. You cannot go and report this to anybody. And then they told them it was a bird. But clearly, this seems to be a little more difficult than that. And these folks are still not saying who they are. But we've got, I think we've got this new incident right here. I think is a little more of a clear-cut shot, because this is coming from somebody who worked at Delta Cargo and has now confirmed that this is happening at the United Gate. So we now know the kind of area and which region this is happening and which actual airline company operating within O'Hare is putting the hush on this. And it doesn't seem to be Delta. Delta has not seemed to have a Mothman issue, but United having a bit of a problem there. Which, as we all know, the way Mothman sometimes tends to function, perhaps a portent or a warning of some things. Here we are. Look, I'm just saying, take note of these things. These could be interdimensional clues given to us by this ethereal traveler, the Mothman. Now, the MUFON case that came forward recently, this was the one that we talked about the other week. They've closed this case after the person who had come forward would not conceal their identity or could not confirm their actual location. But the letter that had come out, this one was pretty clear about, there would be implications if it got out who they were. So I can very much see somebody not wanting to lose their job over this. And really, it's a shame that it's coming to that. But MUFON has closed the case on at least the report that came to them, citing that as an issue. But here we go. This most recent one seems to have a clear indicator that the person who might have filed this one could be working for United and therefore be on a complete, like, keep quiet about this watch. Do we think Mothman flies United? Does Mothman not fly with his moth wings? No, Mothman flew away in this incident, took flight into the air. It has been reported multiple times. So that is how Mothman travels, at least how Mothman has been witnessed to travel. Some, you never know if teleportation or something like that is involved with these kind of creatures. All right, let's see. So that wraps up the Mothman story. Moving right along, folks. NASA is finally getting ready to launch the James Webb Telescope on December 18th. Now, this is exciting because this is said to be the successor to the mighty Hubble telescope. And friends, let me give you a fun little fact. Images that NASA takes of space, because they're taxpayer funded, they're in the public domain. So if you do a show about space things and you need images of space, you can just use the real ones from NASA and it's no trouble. This is why we can't privatize space travel. Dimensional rift walking and all that, to be sure. Yes, absolutely. Referring to the Mothman there in the chat. So we are excited for this December 18th launch of this satellite, this telescope. I'm really unsure of how these ones work. If they just circle us or something somebody from NASA should come on the show and tell me about. But that's how we get those photos, and we're about to get newer and even better ones. Here's some fun facts about this telescope. Here's what it is capable of doing. My goodness, I should highlight these articles beforehand. Da, 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 da. Okay, it was in this article. Oh, here we go. The telescope's importance hasn't changed. It's considered the successor to the Hubble Space Telescope, and it includes a much larger mirror along with a focus on lower frequency observations, particularly mid-infrared, that will help it detect early galaxies that even the Hubble can't find. That priority also helps explain some of its technical challenges. So there you go. This instruments will need to stay extremely cold. They have to stay at minus 370 degrees Fahrenheit to avoid interference with infrared measurements, requiring both a large sun shield and an insertion near a Sun-Earth Lagrange point. So there you go. Cliff the musician. Oh, hey, sometimes you gotta fill the time while you're trying to find the information. So there you go, some exciting space news coming up right around the horizon. And speaking of space, we've got a new Mars discovery, perhaps. This is coming from UFOsightingsdaily.com. This is from Scott C. Waring there. He has been spending a lot of time studying the images coming in from NASA, and here's what he believes he has found. I found an alien face carved into stone on the surface of Mars. The face is in a Mars photo, is on the far right center of the picture. The face is looking upwards and to the right. It has only one eye visible from the side, but its side profile tells us a lot. The side cheekbones are thicker and wider than humans. The upper front cranium comes out farther than ours. The eyes, nose, mouth, lips, and chin are all similar in location on the face as our own. However, this alien face looks far from being human. This face may be a marker similar to a tombstone to mark the burial site of a person who died. The face is in remarkably good condition, and it is about 1 meter across from chin to top of head. The face looks to be thousands of years old. Now, people will often say it's the imagination playing tricks on you, that it's not what it appears to be. Those people are inexperienced at this area and have zero experience in psychology, unlike myself, holding a master's degree in counseling education. I am 100% correct. This is an alien face made thousands of years ago on Mars. Absolute, undeniable proof that ancient aliens did once exist on Mars. Scott C. Waring, Taiwan. There you go. Let's take a closer look at that, Stephen. Let's bring that in. Let people get a real good look at this face. Now, really, you can really kind of see the grooves in there with the nose and the mouth there. And honestly, some might in fact think Martians to be grays, but I think this really looks and ties in with some sightings of Mantisian extraterrestrials, mantis-like extraterrestrials. Let's I think we had a sketch. Yes, there was a sighting of one of these in the UK just a few months ago. And who's to say? If you look at the bone structures on these faces, the way the chin is, yes, you see right there along that ridge line, it could be a mantis. The way those carves are, perhaps those are the eyes right there over the ridge, and those would be big mantis eyes. I mean, we've got mantises on Mars, people. We've got mantises on Mars. I think it looks like a turtle. A turtle on Mars, perhaps. Could be a turtle. Could be a turtle hiding on Mars with his little legs in there. Gotta love a good red circle. A red circle's so important to identifying the bizarre. I mean, you can see it right there. There you know exactly what you've got to look for. It's right there. Because of that circle. Telltale sign that something strange is going on. You ever see something circled like that, you know something is going on there. Now, people, oh my goodness, we've gotten ahead of ourselves. We've been traveling, we've been going through the hot topic, the top stories all morning, and we haven't even talked about the toppest story of them all. At long last, the trailer for The Matrix Resurrections has finally been released. It has finally arrived. And folks, I have been waiting all day to see this. I absolutely love this. This is the height of science fiction, high concept science fiction right here with The Matrix. And now we're getting a fourth one. And I've been waiting all day to watch the trailer, so we're going to get this going right now, everybody. And if you want to watch the trailer along with me, I'll at least have the volume on so you can hear where I am if you're not actually going to pull up the trailer. But if you want to pull it up and watch along, we'll count down. Here we are. Okay. We're going to...
Do you want me to post it in the chat? Post a link to the... You're watching it on YouTube? I can post it.
I'm going to the official whatisthematrix.com website.
Oh, you're going to the website.
Remind me to make a clip of this and we'll send it to Warner Brothers so we can get a check later. Check. Oh, and here it is. It just loads up the trailer full screen right here. All right, it's right there, ready to go. Okay, friends, let's turn the music off. It's time. It's time, everybody. Are you going to take the red pill or the blue pill? Let's plug a giant computer socket into the back of our heads and watch the trailer for the new Matrix, everybody. All right, hold on. You can't get into the Matrix without the proper eyewear. Okay. All right, let's do this thing. Here we go, everybody. All right, we're gonna let me make sure it's gonna play. Okay, great. Stop. All right. We're gonna hit play on this trailer, everyone. If you're playing along, The Matrix Resurrections in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thomas, you seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened? I've had dreams that weren't just dreams. crazy. We don't use that word in here.
Okay, great. I already have thoughts. Oh, you know what? We can't have the we can't, hold on, pause. We can't, we're gonna get in trouble for playing this music. I have to put on headphones. I didn't think, silly me to think they would not use copyrighted music in a motion picture trailer.
The Matrix 4 trailer is trying to get us busted.
That would have been whoopsie. Whoopsie, we're gonna have to pay Jefferson Starship out the wazoo.
Woohoo!
Okay. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rewind to the beginning. I'm gonna explain what I think is happening up until we get to the point where we are.
Okay.
Now,
Wait.
The Matrix, a lot is going on in The Matrix. What do you mean? Wait. Do you think this is a bad idea for me to
No,
explain?
you're rewatching it from the beginning? You're gonna rewatch the trailer from the beginning because you paused it?
Yes, I just shouted pause and paused it at a random time so it would not sync with everybody.
Okay,
Gosh, we
okay.
are not going to get that Warner Brothers money this week.
I will also restart my trailer from the beginning so that way I see the end at the same time that you see the end. Okay.
I think because of what happened, I think that's the smartest way to do it.
Very smart. It's now that I've reiterated it, it's at least clear to me.
For those who are playing along at home, we want to owe them the respect because they are doing the full work of the experience.
Excellent.
And
so I go
this
ahead.
is for you and everybody else. You get to hear my theory about what I think is happening.
Explain what you think is happening so far, and yeah, and then we'll start the trailer from the beginning.
The Matrix. We're gonna get into this more as the trailer goes. Oh my gosh, we almost got in so much trouble. Okay, from the beginning, here we go. The Matrix Resurrections. One more time in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Download. Okay.
You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
We know that there have been, because the architects talked about this, multiple iterations of the Matrix. They've done this at the time of the movie. I think they had said 17 or something times in the Matrix 2. Which means that we have now been finding ourselves in a new instance of the Matrix. And perhaps they're spoiling Neo with this kind of high-profile position in the world to kind of keep him feeling all right. But he's having memories of the past, and that's what's now bringing it back. And he's about to realize, oh, I'm in the Matrix again. And now we are where we were before. All right. And they're giving him the blue pills because he can't get in. He can't realize it if he's not taking those pills.
Time to fly.
Okay, great.
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
Now, of course, what I've just explained is probably like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
The only thing that matters to you is still here.
Merry Christmas to me. Yes. A lot is happening. Great. Okay. Oh, you can always make that jump. Oh no, that guy from Glee. Yes. All right. Wow, what a trailer, folks. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what is about to happen and why it all happened. If there's one thing that the Wachowskis love, it's explaining something. And so I hope we get plenty of that in the movie. Here's what we're gonna do, folks, because gosh darn it, I love this series. The guy from Glee, I'm pretty sure that was at the end there, the guy who was like, "Welcome back to the Matrix," or whatever. I think that was Jonathan Groff from Spring Awakening. I think it looks like a Ryan Murphy type. Anyway, here's what we're gonna do, folks, because I am amped for this movie, and you know that we've got to watch all the movies leading up to it. And when I say we, I mean we, because every now and then we like to do live streams of watch-alongs on the show, and we'll sync it up just like we did that trailer, but a little smoother. And the Matrix trilogy is currently on HBO Max, and I'm sure most of you have it on DVD right now, either way. And so what we are going to do is, over the next 3 months, this movie comes out on Christmas, so we've got September, October, November to watch Matrix, Matrix Reloaded, and Matrix Revolutions, in that order, the order that they came out in. So we are going to, there's two orders to the way you can watch the Matrix. There's the order that they came out in, and this is the most common one. But there's also the order that they were shown in when I was waiting for the closest being I have to a niece to be born, which was, and I got to watch them all, by the way, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions. We're not going to go through the full run of it. And yes, I will once again confirm this. I did not start watching it in the middle. A show ended and The Matrix 2 began. And then I got to watch The Matrix 3, and then I got to watch The Matrix 1, and then they started again. It was one of the best days of my life, the birth of that child. Oh, thank you. So there you go. We're going to be watching The Matrix leading up to that. And so the plan is, and I'm going to put a poll on the Strange Times Indeed Instagram. So check there. In fact, here's what we'll do. We'll do it right now, so folks can go over and follow us at Strange Times Indeed on Instagram. So, Steven, go ahead and do the thing. Can you put the thing up that says where we are? Let's see if there's a cool Matrix filter we can use. This is influencing in the making, people. There's got to be a Matrix filter. I don't need my own glasses. I just need the thing. All right, let's try that. Yes, there we go. That'll do. Okay, so here's the question, everybody, that we're going to be posting on the Instagram. Do we want to watch the Matrix trilogy on Thursday nights? We'll do it. We'll pick a night every month and do it during the showtime, or do we want to pick a different evening? And if people vote to do a different evening, then we'll kind of say, okay, what evening is ideal for people based on what batches of alternate evenings are ideal for me. I'll have time to do it on another night, and I'm not opposed to it. But if we just want to do it in the thing of the show, this is where the community gets to decide how we want to spend our time. But if we all want to join here on Thursdays I'm seeing Thursdays with commentary in the chat box.
Yeah, it looks like people are trying to use the chat to vote, but I thought you said that they had to say something on Instagram.
I was going to create an Instagram poll. I thought that'd be the way to give the whole group a chance to chime in.
Instagram's right there if you want to actually have a voice, if you want to cast a ballot. So that's going to go
up in a minute. We're going to say Matrix stream on once a month on Thursdays or another night. And we'll do our picture here. Okay, great. And now I got to make the poll.
So, you know, it's about 9:30. Would it be a decent time for a commercial break, Cliff?
You know, I think it would be. In fact, I think that's a great time for me to type this information in so nobody's just sitting here watching me type.
All right, you stay tuned. Don't touch that
we'll be right
mouse clicker.
Stay strange, terrestrials.
Wait. I just gotta find the commercial break scene because I don't have a button hotkey for it yet. Yeah, sorry, Cliff. I was really trying to lead into that really quickly. Bye!
Well, that's not a way to start a comedy. With an execution? That's just basic dramatic writing. Don't start with beheadings. Audiences don't want plays about terror and death.
This is a play that is happening in Olympe's head as she's going to, walking up the stairs, getting ready to have her head chopped off. So it is not a piece of realism in my head. We're going to be broad, a little bit broad with this. It's a comedy, and I want there to be a lot of movement. I want there to be a lot of activity happening. Start to think about how your characters move. This is not just going to be a sitting and talking to each other kind of play. It's going to be very active. It's going to be up and around, and lots going on.
Cut that thing, so is it right?
Oh my God, Marianne!
I know, this is crazy to just show up like this, but hello and surprise.
Hello and surprise! Oh my God, for a second I thought you were the National Guard.
Are they coming for the writers already?
Only the important ones.
For real. God damn it.
Cliff, you've turned it to the Comedy Night logo.
Don't worry, I'm coming. Let me give me 1 second.
Oh my gosh, my camera wants me to change the battery pack.
No,
Wait,
I'm coming. Sorry, this one's absolutely on me. I'm a real buffoon. Give me
I
1
can
second.
plug it into direct power.
I'm coming. I've got to get it. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Of course, the backup.
Oh
There
gosh.
we go. Okay, well that's a real one. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay. Woo,
Oh
that
boy! Wow.
crazy commercial break, huh?
Let me tell you something. Let me on headphones. Sometimes, this is a great time, people, to say if you love Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, you gotta back the Strange Times Indeed Patreon at patreon.com/strangetimesindeed. Sometimes you're at the last moment and you say, wait, I got to turn the music back on. And you've put headphones in like a real ding dong. And you move and the laptop goes with you. And what should happen but the dongle, the little dongle that plugs everything in, it saves the laptop, it absorbs the shock, but it bends the little tips And now you're like, well, that kind of stinks. But that was only $30. So if you want to support the Strange Times Indeed Patreon, you can help us buy a new one of these.
Oh my gosh! What? How? Why did that happen?
Well, honestly, I think it's because we've been summoning such powerful spirits, talking about the Mothman, and tonight we're going to be talking about the Flatwoods Monster, and they're so Earth is in retrograde, Steven.
And it collapsed with the Matrix trailer too.
Yes. And Earth is in retrograde, and we are in the midst of what I have seen is that we are in this spot right now where we are approaching Mercury in retrograde, which because Earth is in retrograde means that for that span of time, we are going back to normal. And I don't know what normal is, but I've got a bad feeling about normal, and we're in some state in which we are swinging in like a weird cosmic direction towards this. And I think that like everyone's out of whack right now.
I couldn't agree more. I'm gonna try and go back to you being on the screen and me disappearing.
Thank you, thank God. Hey, and if you can't support us on Patreon, you can always head over to Strange Times Indeed and follow us on all of our social media. Great place. Just tell people about us. It's less about the money and more about getting more people involved. That's what we really love is it's about you guys. It's about who's the folks who are calling in and sharing their stories. And if you back us, it helps us afford to fix things when they break. But that's life every now and then. Just a minor setback. We will be all right. Okay, and don't feel like we're waiting on that. Like that's something I have to buy on my own anyway, because I'm gonna need a new one of those. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it. Let's start talking about her. Braxy, the Flatwoods Monster. Okay, Steven, we can bring down the social media information. Thank you so much, my friend. All right, so as I've talked about this very weekend, I am heading out to Braxton, West Virginia with our friend Sarah from the Snallygaster Museum. We're heading down there for the Braxy Bazaar. This is a day-long festival to celebrate and commemorate the sighting of Braxy, also known as the Flatwoods Monster. Now, I have let me put some arms on her real quick. She doesn't have any arms in my illustration. So let's get a sassy little hand on the hip there. And she's got just kind of like, hey, with big weird hands. There we go. All right, here we go. This is her. There's Braxy. There's just kind of an idea. You've seen the archetype before. It's a very popular cryptid, or at least design-wise. Not everybody knows that she goes by Braxy, or is the Flatwoods Monster. They're all the same. Is that a new hairdo? Here's what it is it's my hair gel did not style as it sometimes does, and this is the way we found this to be what worked. And so we're working with this. Is it the new hairdo for sure? Well, that depends on how well the gel holds, I guess. But here we go. We're talking about Braxy. This happened September 12th, 1952. Which, for those who are keen at math, I just want to get in there before anyone else does. This year's Braxy Bazaar is the 69th anniversary of the Braxy sighting. So this is a big year for Braxy. So there we are. It's dusk. September 12th, 1952. 4 boys are playing outside of Flatwoods Elementary School when they witness this bright light streaking across the sky, flying off, and it kind of appears to crash or land in a field in a farm right nearby. And so they're like, oh, we've got to check that out. We're like 4 boys hanging out at school. Like this is how every adventure begins. And they go out and they are on their way there and they swing by two of the boys' house where their mom, Kathleen May, was. And they're like, Mom, because they're on the way to the farm. They're like, this thing just crossed the farm. We're going to go check it out. They get their mom. And she's like, okay, I know just who to call. And she calls National Guardsman Eugene Lemon. So not only do we have 4 young men experiencing this event, but we now have a trusty mother looking out for her kids and a member of the National Guard, a member of our armed forces, is joining on this expedition to see what has crashed out on this farm. They get out there and there's this red pulsating light up in the hill. And as they get closer, they're confronted by this being that is a creature said to be 10 to 15 feet tall, with a head shaped like a spade, bright glowing eyes, and a dark metallic dress. On the side of that hill, they discovered Braxy, the Flatwoods Monster. Braxy, levitating before the group, let out a loud hiss and began to glide towards them. At this point, the group was so frightened that they ran away. Now, they did not see the monster again after that, but several witnesses reported experiencing throat irritation, vomiting, and nausea after witnessing the creature. And this was written off to be kind of a sign of hysteria, but is also notably a side effect of mustard gas. Now, one of the things when Project Blue Book looked in to the Braxy sighting, what they ultimately dubbed it as hallucinations caused by meteor gas. And even though they went in and could not find anything in that space where it had happened, although they had found evidence, there had been reports of kind of scorched trees in the area. There was not an actual craft that was found after the fact. But I forgot where I was going with that. Oh my goodness, my brain has just flatlined. Oh my goodness. Well, there are other instances involving the Braxy sighting. There were 2 other incidents and no more beyond that. Let's get off of the Matrix trailer and get into those 2 other ones. There was one reported by Miss Audra Harper not long before the infamous sighting on Fisher's Farm. This is coming from BraxtonWestVirginia.org. They've got a whole write-up of the event because, of course, this is where the Braxy Bazaar is happening this weekend. And we've got to get the people familiar with the Braxy tale. Did we take a blue pill? Yeah, perhaps. We were taking them every day. Here we go. Harper claims to have seen the monster while walking through the woods near her home near the town of Heaters. Heaters is about 5 miles north of Flatwood. Harper and her friends were walking by a nearby store, and the road leading out to their property was implacable, something like that, and rutted, so they were taking a shortcut through the forest instead of walking the road, which would have increased their trip significantly. About a half mile into their trip, they noticed a ball of fire on the hills they were passing. Harper dismissed it, assuming that one of their neighbors was fox chasing. When she glanced back, she saw something unbelievable. The fire had vanished, and in its place stood a tall, dark silhouette of a man-shaped figure. Terrified, Harper and her friend ran, escaping among the rocks and boulders strewn among the hillside. And again, on the day of September 12th, on this incident in Flatwoods, there was another sighting that occurred in Strange Creek, about 20 miles south of Flatwoods. Reportedly, George and Edith Snitowski and their 18-month-old were driving through the rural area between Clay and Braxton County on Route 4 when their car suddenly died. Mr. Snitowski attempted to restart the car to no avail, and it was nighttime and the road was deserted. While the Snitowskis were trying to decide what to do, a foul, sulfurous smell filled the air and their baby began to cry. A strange, bright light filled the darkness, and the couple witnessed a 10-foot-tall creature hovering in front of their car. The description is similar to that of the original sightings, except the monster was not wearing what was presumed to be its spade-shaped hood. Instead, its head was reportedly reptilian and bony. The creature dragged its lizard-like hand across the hood of the car before drifting away into the woods. As soon as the monster was out of sight, the car restarted and the couple sped away. Snitowski would later give his account for Mail magazine in 1955. There you go. Mail magazine, a fine purveyor of tales of extraterrestrial or cryptozoological sightings. Now, Braxy kind of exists in this area where, depending on how you interpret the story, some believe Braxy to be kind of a cryptid, while others tend to believe that Braxy is an extraterrestrial. Now, looking at those different stories, one might think, and in fact, what I would perhaps infer, is that the sighting of Braxy with the full-shaped helmet, with the spade-shaped head, and then the face within it. The one illustrated here, and the one. Here we go. We actually have a picture of this. Silly me. Kathleen May, in fact, took her report to a police sketch artist, and it came up with this. This is the actual illustration of Braxy, done by a police sketch artist in relation to the Flatwoods Monster. We'll bring that up there, Stephen, when you've got a moment. There we go. There it is. And there it is. So that's kind of the original sketch there, really kind of a frightening being. And what I might imagine is these other witnesses, perhaps since this was not at the site of the crash itself, may have witnessed it. Perhaps this was a helmet, something to protect it while traveling through the cosmos. And it's just removal to reveal the reptilian head underneath. Just a possibility, just some speculation. His dongle must be loose, yeah. I see. Steven, do you have a loose dongle over there, Steven?
Ah, my dongle's not loose. My face is covered by a Braxy.
Oh no. Hey, Steven, check this out. We've got a mailbag today. We've got a mailbag. If you want to send mail to the show, back us in on Patreon, because I don't have a P.O. box, and if you want the address, you gotta have some backing, and the fact that you're not gonna come and kill me.
We've got some mail.
You gotta have some money in the thing. This is mail that I sent to myself. Here we go. The first official Strange Times Indeed business card. Now, of course, this isn't really a business, but ooh, there we go. Look at this. Direct ship. Bleep, bleep. All right, look at these bad boys. Here we go. Now, when we go out amongst the people, we'll have something to kind of court them. Here we go. Have you witnessed the bizarre? Tell the czar. And then right here, we've got all the information about the show. Thursdays at 9 p.m., Cliff McCallister, Czar the Bizarre. We've got our tip line email, Strange Tips Indeed. We've got our Instagram on there, and we've got right where you can watch the show every week. So just an exciting thing. And if you're a backer on our Patreon, if you're on the $9 level, a card-carrying member of the Weirdos, a card-carrying weirdo, if you're backing us on Patreon, kind of a sneak peek of something kind of like what you'll be getting for your membership cards. Isn't that exciting? As a true member, as a backer, and a member of the Cliff McCallister's Secret Society for Seekers of the Bizarre, right there. Go ahead and support us. And there you go. Stephen, we've just got a little bit of time left. And as we all know, Stephen is a bit of a dream walker. He's been practicing lucid dreaming, and he's been keeping track of his dreams. We try to interpret them. Do you think we have enough time to talk about your recent dream?
I think we have enough time for me to share the dream. I'm not sure how much time we would have for your interpretation, though.
Well, then maybe we ought to save it for another week, unless you think it's particularly prophetic.
We do have 10 minutes, so I'll just try and cut to the chase and read this dream as quickly as possible.
All right, let's see what is happening in the world. Let's run Steven's dreams through the filter. and see what is going on.
All right, so this is a recent dream. This happened less than a week ago. So, and this is not last night, but I wrote it the day after. So, last night, my dream. Wait, where is the dream that I wanted to read? Where did you go?
Okay, Steven, maybe we should do the dream another week.
Wait. Oh, wait, here it is.
Okay, let's do it. Let's hear it.
It's on the page just further down. 9/3, 2021. I had a dream I was auditioning for a role for my girlfriend Carly. We had school desks, and they were there were 3 others reading before me. So the school desks were pushed in the center of the room. Julie was also there helping out Carly. For some reason, I didn't have a pen, and I took notes by placing peeled carrot pieces on a plate to make words. My notes ended up looking like one note. Anyways, it had come to be my turn to audition, and going last, I should have the best sense of what the director is looking for, but I had to clear my throat. The dream continues. Then I had to take a sip of water. I cleared my throat several times and had several sips of water and had stalled for entirely too long. I forgot what I was going for in my audition. Since my note-taking ability wasn't ideal, I was relying mostly on memory. But since that fell through, I absolutely needed my notes, and I looked down at my plate. Dear God, I'm drawing a blank as I literally can't read the few simple words spelled out with carrots that were supposed to jumpstart my brain into realizing the ideal portrayal of this character for my audition. I look up, shrugging, with nothing to present, and everyone notices my plate of peeled carrots. In Carly's face, there is shock, disappointment, and embarrassment. Not for me, but of me.
He will never work again in my theater. Never. An embarrassment to my theater.
I was quite entertained by that dream and perplexed, Cliff.
Yes, well, it sounds to me, Steven, it sounds to me like what is most clearly happening is a sort of communication problem. Sometimes there are things that could be construed as miscommunications. And it's like when you've got a bunch of mushes of carrots, and you can't quite find the words for what you need. And I think this communication problem might be happening internally because it is your own notes that you cannot read, Stephen. So there's something that you seem to be confused about and having trouble understanding, or perhaps are a little lost on, and perhaps this is related to your role in the theater or your role as an actor or whatever it may be, and you're trying to suss that out and get the carrots together.
Mm-hmm. Get the carrots together
to figure out what that is that's going to jumpstart you. And maybe it's finding what is that next role that is going to jumpstart you, that's going to put those carrots together, and you're trying to find that and figure out what that next step is.
Right. You know, for one reason or another, I was going for a specific role, but was blocked without any words to communicate at all.
There you go. and then now it's coming through your dreams.
Yeah.
Well, this seems to have hit you a little hard, Steven.
It's
How
not
are you
always that
feeling?
I actually dream about real people or you know what I mean. But I've started finally started logging some dreams again, and
Yeah.
you know it's interesting how it seems so comedic, but once you dig into it, maybe you're like, yes, is this communication? Is this my organization? It did seem like a good idea to play around with little carrot peels and spell things out on a plate.
When you don't have the proper ways to describe what you need or the implements to write, sometimes you have to improvise, and sometimes that comes out a little messy. Perhaps a lesson to take away, I don't know, from your dream. Barefoot in 52 says maybe it just says something about your relationship with Carly.
Right, Carly would never consider casting me. Maybe
Yeah, she made it pretty clear that was off the table from this point on, I believe.
I was so worried about having her approval to be in this show that maybe I put so much weight on that, and I was so nervous that I just completely shut down.
Oof.
I even shut down in my note taking. I was just playing like a little kid with carrots.
Many layers to this dream, Stephen. I think plenty to think on.
Plenty to think on. Well, yeah. I'll keep logging my dreams. Hopefully, I'll get to lucid dreaming. Everyone, right now, go ahead and check your hands. Look at your hands. Ask yourself, are you dreaming? Am I dreaming right now?
Am I dreaming right now?
Test the lights.
Right now? Am I dreaming right now? I'm okay.
Test the lights. The lights, if you do a light switch, it won't work in your dream. So if you get in the habit, maybe, and you don't wake up after you notice you're dreaming, you can maybe do what you want.
Maybe.
Live your life in your subconscious.
There we go. Yep. Find yourself in a deep meditative trance and don't come out of it until you've reached nirvana. Stephen, thank you for sharing your dream and being open to the interpretation. If you've got a dream that you can't quite understand, you can always call in to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. We can talk about that as well. Dream interpretation is one of the many bizarre services that we offer here at Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. We also take your calls to hear about the unexplained, the bizarre, cryptids, extraterrestrials, specters, ghosts, interdimensional beings, all that fun stuff we talk about every week right here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Hey, here's a fun fact. Not only am I going to the Braxy Bazaar this weekend with the American Snallygaster Museum, we'll be doing this show next Thursday. And here's the thing. If enough people vote for Thursday for The Matrix, we're going to start it next Thursday. So get ready for that and keep that in mind if you're voting. If I gave that information too late, send us a message on Instagram and I'll change your vote. But otherwise, there you go. Thank you, Stephen. Otherwise, aside from all that, coming up, after this show on Thursday, right here on twitch.tv/Met Comedy Night next Friday, September 17th, you'll be able to watch the Comedy Pigs' first show back at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. You can watch that right here on twitch.tv/Met Comedy Night. That's right. If you can't make it out to live shows, we're going to be streaming them here. So please consider supporting the theater with a donation if you watch here, or go out, venture out in person if you feel safe doing so. And we'll see you right there at the theater to check out Met Comedy Night and the Comedy Pigs. That's going to be next weekend, Friday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. And then the weekend after that, we can find Crit live at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. So check out all that stuff. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Thanks to every one of you who chimed in the chat tonight, who joined us. who joined along, who watched the Matrix trailer with us, every single one of you. We can't wait to see you next week. We can't wait to watch the Matrix with you. We can't wait to do all the fun stuff. Thanks to all of you viewing. Thanks to all of our Patreon backers. Of course, your names at the end here as a service, and thank you to you as members of our community. And of course, if you back us on Patreon, patreon.com/strangetimesindeed, you can get access to our Discord, where we're going to be chatting all the time, sharing sightings, sharing all that stuff, 24/7 access to the Czar of the Bazaar. And meanwhile, in addition to all that, you back us at the $25 level, you're going to get it mailed to you, Cliff McCallister's Gamer Girl Bathwater. That's right, we played a game for the first time on the stream last week, and thanks to my, we're putting the fluid back in gender fluidity here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, so you back us at the $25 level. That'll help us replace this dongle, and you'll get Cliff McCallister's signature Gamer Girl Bathwater sent to you. What a magical treat that would be. So there you go. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week, next Thursday, right here on twitch.tv/medcomedynight. Until then, you've been watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I'm your host, Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre. Stay strange, terrestrials.